Well, I am looking ahead, and I am a mother and a business owner. And I want to be more balanced in being a mother and a wife and running my business. I want to know that where I am in any moment is where I am to be, and whatever I'm contributing in that moment is all right.
Then we would suggest that in whatever moment you're in, give it your undivided attention. Because a lot of times when you're a business owner, you're thinking about being a mother, and when you're a mother, you're thinking about being a business owner, and your energy gets all split. And so we would encourage you to not make unrealistic expectations of how much you can do in a day. In other words, define really what you're going to do, and then decide that while you're doing it, you're really going to enjoy doing it. That's the best advice that we could give for aligning energy. And anything that you don't have time to do doesn't need to be done. In other words, make peace with what you can get done and let the rest be.
I get that. I also get my husband asking me for underwear that aren't clean when I've been spending the whole day working on my business.
Well, maybe if that happens enough, it becomes a higher priority. You see, we don't think that it's shortage of time that's keeping you from washing his underwear. We think it's resistance. It's thoughts like, he should wash his own damn underwear. Or it's thoughts like, there just aren't enough minutes in the day. In other words, when you get focused upon not enough time, even though the time is there, in other words, it's aligned time. When you look at masters of music or masters of the written word or masters of anything, their mastery spurts out of them. In other words, it's alignment, 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 and then from the alignment, powerful flow. Much of the time spent in the creation of things is taking the time to get into alignment. Esther will find, even as she's going to work on the book, they'll go to some beautiful place, and it will be the intention that they will find a nice spot for Esther to sit with her computer where she can receive. But there is time spent in getting to the place, and prepaved time spent in finding the place that is the most comfortable. And then there is the breathing and the aligning. In other words, it might take an hour to get situated, but then boom, once that place of alignment is achieved, then the information flows very rapidly, you see. And so there are a lot of people that, because you don't take the time to get into the alignment, you never get into the flow of anything. So you forget to do that, and you mean to do that, and you forget to do that, and you mean to do that. Where if you take the time to get into the flow, the universe will feed to you the information that you're wanting to remember at the perfect time. So you don't have to carry around long checklists of things that you need to do. Things just occur to you at perfect timing. You get into this rhythm of things. You find yourself feeling invincible. It's like everything in the universe begins to cooperate with you, you see. But when you get frazzled and fragmented and blameful or guilty or focused upon things not going well, there's just not enough energy in the world. Everything seems to go wrong. It's like the world is defying you, the smooth ride that you're really wanting to provide for yourself. And bringing more people on board to help you isn't the solution, because when you get a lot of people in a chaotic situation, the chaos is just more. It's just more confusion. You really have to just begin lightening up. In other words, you can't continue to point out to yourself how things are not working and have any improvement at all begin to take place. You have to get into a place where there is expectation of improvement, you see. And we can feel what's tangled up with you and with a lot of people, Esther too, is a feeling of needing to justify the well-being that's coming through your own effort.
Yes.
Many of you, even though we've done this sales job for years, many of you are still not really knowing that it's supposed to go well for you, that you deserve it, and that you don't have to explain to anyone why it's going well. Because there seem to be so many people standing in your life with their hand on their hip complaining about not having clean underwear and holding you responsible for it in some way. In other words, my happiness that is hinged on clean underwear, I have delegated to you, and you have let me down. And there's a myriad of people out there that will tell you that you're letting them down in this way and in this way and in this way and in this way. And as you replay that to yourself and either feel guilty, which doesn't feel good, or blameful, which doesn't feel much better, slightly better, however. What happens is you just mess up your own vibration and you begin to take all of that on, and then you feel overwhelmed in your life. We're just going to say this here in a very bold, clear framework. You have to not give a rip what anybody else thinks about what you're doing or where you are, because when you try to factor in what that one thinks and that one thinks and that one thinks and that one thinks and that one thinks, who, by the way, are all thinking only from their selfish perspective, now you have just cluttered your vibration so you are less than clear. Have you ever had a carload of people and you're on your way to find some place to eat and everybody's got a different idea about where you should go? Don't you just want to dump them all out on the street and go someplace and eat before you starve to death? In other words, sometimes when you try a consensus of a bunch of people who are selfishly wanting to satisfy their own personal interests, and what's more personal than what you're going to eat right now, you get the sense of what we're talking about.
I know what you're...
You have to sort of announce to the world, although they won't take it very well, so you might want to do it silently. But what you're wanting to say to everybody is, the only thing that I have any control over is the vibrational relativity between what my life experience has caused me to want and where I stand relative to it. And for a little while, these are the only factors that I'm going to consider. So I'm going to just do my best to find the best feeling thought about this subject that I can. And as you do that, you'll come into alignment on that subject. Next time you do it, you'll come in again. And before you know it, you'll be in alignment with you. And when you're in alignment with you, you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You're like a superhuman. All kinds of ideas occur to you. People watch you in amazement. You're intelligent and you're coordinated and you're vital and you're alive and you're clear-minded and things go well for you and the universe cooperates with you. And the better you get, the more people out there will want to lay their stuff on you and make you responsible, but you can't let them make you responsible for how their life is going. You're only responsible for how your life is going. And if you try to factor in what they think about your life or what they think even about their life, you'll clutter your own energy. And when you clutter your own energy or scatter your own energy or find misalignment between who you are and your hopes and dreams and who you're being in this moment, then you get all fragmented again and then you get all lost again, you see. And it is from that lost place that most of you make demands of others that they can't meet. And so you're all sort of in a jumble out there together. It's so refreshing to meet some clear-minded person who doesn't give a rip what you think. Don't you know that? Even if they disagree with you, aren't they sort of refreshing? Have you ever tried to deal with somebody who can't make up their mind about something? Don't you just want to say, kill me now? Let's go this way. No, let's go this way. No, let's go this way. And you say, let me go somewhere you're not. Because you don't want to be caught in that confusion. It is that Phoenix Yuma, Phoenix Yuma, Phoenix Yuma, Phoenix Yuma, till you just buckle under and die in the desert because you're just so exhausted from getting nowhere, you see. And the way you get somewhere is by paying attention to your guidance and by following the thoughts that feel good on each and every subject.
I get that.
So give us an example of something that is upsetting to you or not working, and define it a little bit, and then we'll walk through it with you and show you the stream of thoughts that we would reach for, the improved stream of thought.
I'd like for you to help me move up the vibrational scale on balancing my responsibilities at home as a mother and running my business.
All right, so are you working at home?
My office is in my home, yes.
And tell us about the children.
They're gone during the day.
And so they leave the house at what time?
7:30, 8, we're out the door.
And what time are you back in the door?
2, 3, I'm back in the door. And they're following, they're right with me.
So how many hours are you away from your girls?
About 6 to 8 a day.
And once you get home, do you have more responsibility relative to your business?
That's where the balance needs to occur because the laundry needs to be done.
But as far as your business goes, so you get your girls ready and you go out and you drop them at school and then you go do your business,
yes.
And then you come back about 2:30. So you've been gone for a few hours.
Yes.
And is your work done during that time? Your
it's
work
ongoing.
As far as your business is concerned.
It's ongoing, and so is the responsibilities of a mother. They're both ongoing.
Well, we are looking for understanding. We are appreciating your words, and we can feel how It feels to you that you have too much responsibility. In other words, you keep wanting to say the responsibility of my business and the responsibility of being a mother, it's too much to do all at once. So when does the overwhelmment and the strongest feeling of too much responsibility hit you?
4 o'clock. Oprah comes on. I want to watch Oprah, but I can't watch Oprah because I have to help them with their homework.
And why does their homework have to be done during Oprah?
They like to do it when they get home from school.
Now, this is part of that thing we were talking about where you help someone else win because you're pushing so hard against doing something at 4 o'clock that everything in the world seems to need to be done at 4 o'clock. In other words, your resentment about not having that free time. So Sunday night, you're putting yourself in your bed and you are imagining getting up and you're imagining things going very well and you're imagining the girls being cooperative, which they usually are, and friendly and happy to be awake. And you have done a little extra organizing the night before, so you're feeling a little fresher and a little more optimistic about the way your day is going to unfold. And you wake up, and because of your pre-planning and your pre-paving, the morning does go better, and you're all feeling fresher. And then you say, as you're going off to school, as you're dropping them off, girls, this is going to be a wonderful day. I just know you're going to have a good time, and mommy's going to have a good time today, too. I'm going to get lots of good things done. And when we get home tonight, we're going to do something a little different. You will have some extra fun time playing until about 5 o'clock from when you get home. So think about what you might want to do. Do you have any ideas about what you might want to do? And they might say, oh no, we have to do our homework, although we really do not believe that you would be hearing that from them. And so everybody's sort of lined up with that idea. You've set it in motion. And during the day, you're actually thinking about some things that they might enjoy doing from the time they get home until you've had an opportunity to relax and watch your television show. So as you're moving about your day, you're thinking about that. And you actually, because you're tuned in with that idea, you see something that's sort of fun. Or you find something that is business related that they might like to staple or punch or file or play with in some way. You're just sort of gathering up some things that they might like to do during that period of time. In fact, you're getting sort of excited about it because you're picturing them tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You've made a little snack for them. You're imagining them having a good time. You've already prepared them for it. And you pick them up and the first thing you say is, well, are you ready to go have some fun now? I have some ideas about this and look at these things that I found. And you open your bag and you've gathered all kinds of little things through the day that might be fun. And so you take them home, you set them up, you put them in their place where they can play, you let them know that you're there if they need anything, but that this is the time for them to do that while you're doing something fun for yourself, and it comes off beautifully. If you will take the time to imagine something in advance and imagine it turning out well in advance and imagining everybody feeling good about it in advance, you will be amazed at how cooperative the universal forces are in helping you find things and get them ready. They'll be lined up. You'll rendezvous for this happy moment. But when you're doing the opposite of that all day, when you're saying it's hard to be a mother and a worker, it's hard to take care of all of this, I don't have time to do the things I really want to do. I'm the last one who ever gets to do what I want to do. I can't even watch Oprah, and I want to watch Oprah. My husband, who has a lot of free time, can't even wash his own underwear. In other words, as you're beating that drum, you're pre-paving a future scenario that's much different than the one you want to live. And whichever one you're pre-paving is coming to you. It's going to come any way you prepave it. So why not prepave one that you're going to enjoy when it gets there, you see? About somewhere in the middle of that, you stop and you say, wait a minute. My guidance system is telling me that I'm all wadded up over this and I don't feel very good. Now, can I find a way of feeling better about this? And then you say, I have a lot to do and I'm doing pretty good at it. And I did get a lot done today, even though I wasn't focused in that direction. And I can work this out so that things like that go better for me. And it's not the end of the world if, although sometimes others feel like it is the end of the world, but it's really not the end of the world if the laundry doesn't get done right this minute. And maybe I'll throw a load of clothes in and they can be washing while I'm watching Oprah. And In fact, I might be able to queue up several things that could be working along while I'm doing that.